Welcome to Yoga Stretch. My name is Katy. Today we're going to talk about strengthening our back. There's been a big focus on strengthening up through the core, but we also need to strengthen our back. As our core is only going to be focusing on around the waist, but our back is going to be helping us to lift our spine up tall. Now often, because we're in these sort of bending forward positions, our back stretches, our chest contracts. So we need to open our chest up and strengthen into our back. Hug those shoulder blades a little bit together at the back, lengthen through the spine, and that will help us to build the muscles in our back. So today, that's what we're going to focus on. All those exercises that are going to build us up around our back so we can keep our chest open, stand tall, and make sure that we don't end up with a rounded out posture and shoulders dropping forward. So join me by sitting down on the mat. Let's take the hands behind the knees, breathe in, lift that spine up tall. Let's start right now with our back. And breathe out. Draw the waist to spine, the navel to spine, and walk your hands up the back of your legs and lower yourself down nice and carefully. Now we're going to extend the legs and just focus on our breathing for a few moments. So one hand on top of the other, elbows on the floor, shoulder blades nice and flat. So if you need to press the elbows in the floor, lift the shoulder blades up, hug them together, flatten them down to open your chest. Try to do that. Lift your head up, tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck, and just let your feet drop out wide. Now breathe into the belly, taking the breath from the chest right to the belly. Feel your hands rise and fall with each breath in. Now let's bring our hands to our sides and walk our feet to the end position. Make sure the heels are under the knees, and you might like to lift your hips up and place them down. And that will help you feel a little more comfortable in the lower spine. So we're going into our ramp to start off with. So let's breathe in, find that arch in the lower back, lift your belly up just a little and breathe out. Bring the navel to spine, bottom of hips forward, a little pelvic tilt forward so the lower back is flat on the floor and we're lengthening through the lower spine. Now we're going to breathe out, squeeze the buttocks, peel the vertebrae off the floor just one at a time and bring our hips in line with our knees. Lift your head up a little so you can keep the neck nice and long, and you can stay here in a ramp. Now I want you to flatten your rib cage down so your shoulders, hips and knees are lined up and you're working into your buttocks. So your buttocks should be nice and firm. Breathe into your belly. Now if you want to work a little bit stronger, let's clasp the hands underneath the back, come into a neck bridge. Roll up onto your shoulders, press the palms together and lower the little fingers down to the floor. Lift the hips a little higher. Breathe into your belly. Let's take 3 breaths here. So bring your hands to the floor. Let's breathe into the belly and breathe out, rolling down. Now this is a beautiful exercise to give your back a stretch. Now, as we lower down each vertebrae one at a time, lengthen through the muscles attached to the vertebrae. And you'll get a beautiful stretch right down your spine. Now, with the lower back, you want to lengthen, flatten until you roll that whole lower back out and the hips are resting down. Then that arch reappears in the lower back, which is your neutral spine. So that's quite normal and it should be quite comfortable having that lifted. Now we're going to bring those knees to the chest just one at a time. Lift your knees in line with your hips or lift your legs up. Draw the waist down and we're going to breathe in, bring the arms over the head, breathe out, draw the navel down, lift the shoulders up and the chest. Drop the chin to chest, lower the shoulders down, draw the tummy down, make sure it's nice and flat. Now we're going to reach up and try to touch our toes. So breathe out, reach, breathe into lower. Breathe out to reach, into lower. Let's try that 2 more times. Breathe out, reach, into lower, and reach up, hold. Then bend your knees, take the hands behind the knees, give yourself a little rock, come up into a boat pose. If you find that a little bit challenging, tap the feet down, keep your feet on the floor, or lift them up with me. Shoulders are down, lift the rib cage up, hug shoulder blades together. Let's strengthen that back. So long as you're hugging your shoulder blades together, the tummy's tight, we can release the hands. Now if you want to continue holding the backs of your knees, do. So let's take 3 breaths here. Now, if you can, cross your legs, roll forward and walk your knees back. Otherwise, you're going to bring your knees around to the side and join me in a cat-cow pose. This is beautiful for your back. It's going to stretch it and contract it. So knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, spread your fingers out nice and wide. Breathe in, cat arch, big stretch in the back, right between the shoulder blades, around the mid-back. Draw the navel up, press tops of feet on the floor, and let's squeeze the buttocks and backs of legs. Breathe out, cow pose. Tuck toes under. Slide shoulders to hips so we can feel a contraction in the mid-back. Our muscles need to contract and stretch. So let's flatten the feet down again, draw the navel up. Now we're going to stretch into that back. Look at your navel. Press the tops of the feet in the floor. Press down firmly. And then breathe out, cow pose. Squeeze the back together, tuck toes under. 1 more time, cat arch. Big breath in, big stretch. Press tops of the feet down. And breathe out for cow pose. Give your back a little squeeze, then come into neutral cat. Now we're going to walk our knees back and bring ourselves to child's pose. Walk your fingers out so the little finger is touching the outer edge of the mat. And we're going to breathe in, lift up to cat, breathe out, high cobra. Now squeeze your buttocks, drop your hips down. Now don't let those shoulders come to your ears. I want you to draw them down, lifting up. This is beautiful for your back. You can feel your back squeeze a little bit, shoulder blades flat on the back, and then breathe in, cat, breathe out, child's pose, nice big stretch in the arms and through the back. Breathe in, lift up, and breathe out. Drop the hips forward, gaze up. Okay, so let's lift the waist up. Let's try that 1 more time. Breathe out, breathe in to lift, breathe out, and cobra. Okay, pull that tummy up, come onto your hands and knees, and this time, if you can, come into a child's pose. We're going to do a snake. A little bit more challenging, but wonderful for back and chest strength. So let's breathe in and breathe out. Lower the elbows down. Bring the chin and the nose quite close to the floor. When your head lines up with your thumbs, then lower your chest down. Just hold your body above the floor, flatten the waist down, lift into high cobra. Shoulders away from the ears, nice long spine. This is a beautiful back strengthener. Lengthen through the spine, strengthen the back, hold it firm, then lift up. Come into that child's pose. Now you can just go to a high cobra if you prefer. Otherwise, join me in snake again. Lower the elbows down, let's skim that nose on the floor, lift the elbows up. Can you feel the back and the chest working? Keep the elbows hugging the rib cage. Lift up, and we've got 1 more to do. Come back into child's pose. Lower the elbows down, skim forward, and this time we're going to lay on our front. Okay, beautiful. Walk your elbows forward for Sphinx. Now Sphinx is quite important. This is another back strengthener. So you want to have your elbows in line with shoulders and the wrists in line with your elbows. Stretch your fingers out as much as you can. Now I need you to work your hips as well as your upper body. So if you don't work into your hips, squeeze your buttocks and tighten your waist and tighten your legs, you'll find that most of the stretch will disappear. So let's try and find that stretch. And we're going to squeeze our buttocks together, press the hips down, and lengthen through the legs. So the legs are switched on, the muscles are working, and now we're going to open our shoulders, hug the shoulder blades together at the back, or have them hugging towards each other, so they're nice and flat on the back. And we're going to draw our elbows back and our chest forward. So let's draw back. Now can you feel tightening around your waist and up around your rib cage? It's quite strong for the back. Now you could lift your chin and stretch your neck, or just lower your chin slightly. Make sure your shoulders are down away from ears, and we're lengthening through the spine. Take 3 breaths into the front of your body. Lower yourself down, and we've got a half bow. So extend your right arm forward, bend your left knee. Take your left hand, hold the top of the foot. Now we're going to press the top of the foot in the hand and squeeze your buttocks, lift your knee. Your chest will lift up and you'll look forward. If you can, lift your extended leg up and your extended arm. Let's take 3 breaths here. You can look forward or tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. Now lower your hand down, lower your knee down. Let's change sides. Can you feel that working into your back? Bend the other knee, take the hand, same hand, on the top of the foot. Keep your knees in line with your hips. Don't let the lifted knee move to the side. Okay, press the hips down, squeeze the buttocks, lift the knee with the hand. So press the top of the foot in the hand, and if you can, lift the other hand and the other leg. Look forward or tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. Can you feel that back working? Take 3 breaths. And lower yourself down. Bring your hands under your chest, cobra, high cobra, toes together, knees wide. Let's stretch that out in child's pose. So you want to stretch out your lower back. Bring your arms to your sides, draw your navel up, tuck your tail between your legs, that little pelvic tilt forward. Now let's breathe into the lower back. So mid-back to lower back. Move your breath down to the lower back. Stretch it out with your breath. Now extend your arms forward one at a time. Lift up into cat position. Tuck those toes under and come into down dog. Another back strengthener. Can you feel your chest and your back working to hold you up? Now lift your waist up, lift the hips up and lower the heels down towards the floor. So you can just lift them and lower them 2 or 3 times so they can just stretch out a little bit before you bring them down just wherever they land. Shoulders towards hips, so tummy lifts and lots of space around the ears. Press the base of the index finger and thumb into the mat, lengthen through the arms. Now draw the tummy up, lift the hips up and move the body weight towards your hips. Let's take 3 breaths into the chest and back. Now I want you to notice when you breathe in that your back muscles are stretching with the breath. Okay, let's take 1 more breath. And then walk with your feet to your hands. Have your feet directly under your hips. Now a forward bend is going to work into your back. So I want to make sure that your heels are right under hips, knees are bent. We don't want to straighten the legs. Pull the tummy up towards the spine, chin to chest, so crown of head faces floor and hands lower down. The weight should be evenly through your feet, like in the middle of the foot. Now can you feel your back stretching? Now if your hands don't reach the floor, it doesn't really matter. Now you should be getting a stretch from that lower spine right up the back to the base of the neck. Now let's look for that and just gently swing the arms. Can you feel that stretch on one side of your back as you sweep from side to side? So the stretch changes from one side of your back to the other. The This is very relaxing, so just let all that tension go. Any tightness, you can give yourselves a little shake around the shoulders or the body, just whatever your body feels that it needs. Okay, let's place the hands on the shins, breathe in, just look down at the floor, pull the tummy up, squeeze the buttocks, and slide the hands up the legs, the fronts of the legs. Focus on stacking your vertebrae up, not stretching your backs of legs. So we want to work into the back, roll the shoulders and bring them down. Beautiful. Now let's pause for a moment, give ourselves a bit of a shake. We're going to stand in mountain pose and then do a tree pose. So bring your feet together, fronts of feet and ankles together. Let's lift the toes up, spread them out, place those toes down. Lift the rib cage up, imagine the crown of the head drawing up to the ceiling, lengthen through your spine upwards. Tail tucked under, tummy in. So the buttocks should feel firm, thighs feel firm, waist firm. So waist drawn in 10%, so nice and strong around the waist and hips. Knees should just feel slightly lifted but not locked. Shoulders to ears, roll the back and down and just flatten them on your back. So your chest needs to open but your tummy stays in. So we don't want the tummy popping out and the ribs opening. We want to keep the ribs flat and the tummy firm. Okay, so close your eyes if you can. And then you can focus on your body. Now some people prefer eyes open and that's okay. Stretch your fingers out, reach your fingers to the floor so the shoulders draw downwards. Now, can you feel that your back is nice and strong? This is building up the muscles in your back. Now take 3 breaths into your rib cage, front and back. So you should be able to feel your back muscles really stretching out. Each big breath in. One more breath. Now take a deep breath in, lift the hands above the head in prayer. Gaze at your palms if you can, lengthen through the spine and breathe out. Bring the thumbs to the chest. Tree pose. Roll your right foot forward. Now come into a chair pose, a small chair pose. Draw the waist in, bend the knees. Now you're in a nice stable position to start your tree pose. Roll your right foot forward, bring your knee out to the side and then lifting up nice and tall through your standing leg and squeeze your buttocks. Level 1 tree pose. Level 2 foot to calf. Level 3 lift your heel above your knee, otherwise lift the foot up a bit higher to the highest point of the inner thigh. Now lift that rib cage up again, so we want to lengthen through the spine, give it a nice stretch upwards, tight tummy, and let's just start to float our eyes closed as much as we can. Now just start to drift them closed, and when you find your balance start to go, then just stay at that point. Let's take 3 breaths here. Okay, beautiful. Bring the knee forward, little kick forward, float your foot down, bring your hands down and take a walk. Let's try that on the other side. Deep breath in, sun salute, reach up, lengthen through the spine and breathe out, hands down to chest. Come into chair pose again, tight tummy, bend your knees. Roll your left foot forward, knee out to side, then lift up nice and tall, squeeze your buttocks. Stay here in level 1 or level 2, foot to calf, level 3, heel above the knee, or bring your foot just that bit higher. Alright, lift the rib cage up, tummy in, and then start to float your eyes closed. Just a little at a time, test your balance out. Once you get to that point where you're a little bit wiggly, then you know you need to keep a little bit of your vision to help you balance. Let's take 3 breaths here. Beautiful. Let's bring the knee forward, a little kick and float the foot down. Let's float those hands down and take a little walk with the feet. Now I'm going to turn sideways and we've got some standing strength to do. So bring your hands down to your sides and we're going to take a deep breath in. So lifting up, if you can, circle the arms back a little so you can open your chest, squeeze the back muscles together and breathe out. Chair pose, so bring the hands down to the center of your chest, pull your waist in, shoulders are down, and let's take a nice deep breath here. Breathe in, and then breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, flat back, and breathe out, forward fold. Let's step back to down dog. And from here, we're going to lunge our right foot forward. So right foot between the hands and come on your back toes. Now make sure your knee is bent so the knee is lined up with the ankle. That will give you the strength to lift up. Sweep the arms back and lift them up. Roll the shoulders back and down. So you want to have that back nice and strong. So shoulder blades need to be flat and right away from the ears. Because when you lift your shoulders up, you get a roundness in your back. Your back is in a weakened position. So you want to draw them down. Now the back is holding the arms up strongly. Arm position depends on your flexibility. Just pick something that's comfortable for you. Let's take 3 breaths here. Right down to the belly. Now let's breathe in, breathe out, hands down to floor. Front foot goes back into down dog. Just take a little stretch from side to side, then step your left foot between your hands and sweep the hands back, lift up into wide prayer. Roll the shoulders back and down. So can we feel the stretch in the front of the body? Can we feel a nice strong back with shoulder blades flattened down, arms being held up quite comfortably? 3 breaths into the belly. And let's breathe in, breathe out, hands to floor. Step your back foot forward and let's lift those arms up again. Breathe in, lift those arms up and breathe out, hands to chest in prayer. Now we have a twist. So let's take that right elbow on the left knee. So tummy in. Now this is a level 1 position, so it's quite comfortable. Knees are even. Level 2, elbow outside the knee. And now we need to bring those hands to the center of the chest. So draw the waist in, rotate through that rib cage. Now that's going to work your back quite strongly in the twist. Take 3 breaths here. Now release, come into forward fold and step back into down dog. Feet are a hip width apart and hands are just as wide. Now from here we're going to do a dog twist. So you can bend your knees if you need to. And we're going to lift one hand up and just hold the knee. Or if you can, slide your hand down to your ankle. Just depends what you can manage. The tummy is lifted. The weight is even through your feet. Look under your arm. Take 3 breaths here. Now change sides. Place your hand down, lift the other hand up, hold the knee or slide your hand down to your ankle and look under the arm. Now check your weight, is it evenly through your feet? Now this is a beautiful back strengthener. Can you feel that arm really working strongly? Shoulders are away from the ears. You're working around your shoulder blades and the twist around your lower back and mid back. One more deep breath. Place the hand back on the mat. Now you can walk your feet to your hands or take a little crouch and jump your feet between your hands. Have your knees bent, chest to thighs, sweep the arms back and lift them up into chair pose. Hands down to chest again in prayer. Twist the other side. So left elbow on right knee. Look sideways. Check knees, they're even. And then level 2 elbow outside knee. Pull the tummy in, rotate through the rib cage, working just that little bit stronger into the back. Look at your knees, make sure they're even. Can we feel that back twisting and that stretch in the back? Breathe into the belly. And one more time. And then breathe out, forward fold. Beautiful, let your upper. Now we've had a nice stretch, just hanging down, stretching out our back. So as I was saying before, you need to stretch and contract your muscles to strengthen them. So we're now stretching the back out, and then we're going to step back into plank where we're going to tighten our back. So I want you to push through the heels, squeeze the buttocks together, lower the hips slightly, tighten your tummy, slide shoulders towards hips, and just lower your rib cage a little bit, just so your elbows are bent and you're not relying upon your elbows and shoulders to hold you up. Now from here, we have a side plank. Now you can go directly into a side plank if you're quite strong. Otherwise, put your knee on the floor, join me in gate pose. Take 3 breaths here. Now you can lift that leg up also. Take 3 breaths into the top side of the body. Okay, lower the foot down, lower the hand down, come back into plank. Let's go to the other side, side plank other side, or gate pose other side. Lift your leg if you can. Take 3 breaths. Lower the foot down and the hand down, coming into plank. Now, if you can, go down into an elbow plank, and we're going to head to dolphin. If this is too strong for you, put your knees on the floor and go into dolphin. So if you're strong, pull your tummy up, tighten your waist and walk your feet a little bit closer to your elbows. Now we want to press down with the elbows, but bring our shoulders up towards our hips so they're right away from the ears. Draw the tummy up and feel some lengthening in the back of the neck, and the back is working strongly around the shoulder blades. This is a beautiful back strengthener. Okay, let's breathe into the belly. Right around the rib cage, front and back. And another deep breath in. Beautiful. Now lower your knees down and come into child's pose. So extend your arms forward. Toes together, knees as wide as hips. Now we need to stretch our back out now. It's worked quite strongly in our dolphin. So let's keep those arms extended forward. If you can, lift your elbows up. If it's too strong for you, lower them down. Now from here, I want you to slide shoulders towards hips. Pull the tummy up. Now your back is working. So let's try and get the tail between the legs and lengthen through the lower spine. We want to give it a stretch. So tail between the legs, sit on the heels. Can you feel that lower back just got lengthened? And I want you to breathe into your back, your mid-back, and down into that lower back. That's it. Bring it right down to the tailbone. Now take a walk with your hands over to one side. So you're going to get a stretch in your back on one side and a little squeeze or a crunch in the other side. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now walk your hands over to the other side. Let's stretch into the other side of the back and squeeze into the waist. Take 3 breaths here. Can you feel your ribs open with the breath in? Can you feel half your back stretch? Now walk your hands back to the center again. And now I want you to lower your elbows down. Have your forehead on the floor. Then rotate your palms upwards. Now you're going to have to bring your elbows in a little bit narrower than your shoulders. Palms up. Try to get your thumbs to touch the floor outwards.
This is a beautiful stretch for your arms, and you can feel it working into your shoulder blades on your back. So make sure your shoulder blades are nice and flat, breathing into the back. It's a strong stretch. And one more. Then rotate the palms down. And let's lift back up into a cat. Now let's walk those hands back to our knees and sit on our heels. Now keep your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Now if you're uncomfortable in this position, sitting on the tops of your feet, lift up onto your knees, turn your hands into fists, squeeze your buttocks and bend back into a camel. Otherwise, join me by sliding your hands behind your back, fingers pointing forward. I want you to squeeze your buttocks and lift your hips. This is an alternative camel, a modified camel. Now I want you to breathe into your belly. Now squeeze your buttocks really firmly and get that back arch. So we need to move our back forwards, backwards, sideways to strengthen it. So here we are doing a back bend. Now you can look forward, most comfortable head position, gaze up or lower the head back for a neck stretch. Always be careful in the third position. 3 more breaths into the belly. Now take a seat on your heels. Let's walk those hands forward. Beautiful. Walking them forward, walking them forward. Now we're going to take 1 foot forward, so the right foot forward, and lift the left hand up. We've got a lunge twist, or lift the right hand up. We've got a lunge twist here. So just on the back knee, and reach the fingers up to the ceiling. Then you can draw the back to give the chest a little stretch and stack those shoulder blades up. So ideally your front leg and knee should all be lined up. Take 3 more breaths into the top side of the body. So can you feel the back stretching? Now lower that hand down and we're going to change legs. So move that foot back and the other foot forward. And now we're going to lift the left hand up. That's it, beautiful. Stretch the fingers out, stretch your hands out as much as you can. Now you can gaze up at your thumb, look sideways, look down at the floor. Just pick the head position best for you. I'm picking a neutral head position. This is the most common, comfortable head position. Breathe 3 breaths into the top side of the body. Now bring your hand down, bring your knee back. Now I want you to bring your knees a little wider than your hips, so keep them on the mat. Then bring your feet out wider and bring your toes forward. Come down to your elbows, and now I want your shoulders drawn away from your ears and your back flat, tummy lifted. You need to maintain a nice flat back. Walk the elbows towards the knees. We should get a stretch on the inside, the inner side of our thighs, right up to the groin. It's an uncomfortable stretch, unlike our other ones. Now if you need to make your knees wider, please do. The mat width may not be enough. You may need to go just that little bit wider to really get a good stretch in those hips. So just a bit wider than the mat, or otherwise come sideways on your mat. Let's take 3 breaths right into the inner thigh. Right up near the hips. Okay, let's lean forward. Bring those toes together, very wide knee child's pose, and sit on your heels. So this is also a frog, but it's a bit of a gentler frog. So extend the arms forward if you can, shoulders slid away from ears, tummy lifted. Stretch your fingers out. Take 3 breaths here. Now walk your hands back towards your hips. Bring your knees a little closer and let's lift up. Onto hands and knees. Tuck those toes under, down dog.
Just moving from side to side. So we're doing a little bit more down dog today so we can really work into the back. Step those feet together. Lift your right leg up for three-leg dog. Squeeze your buttocks. Take 3 breaths. Point the toes to the floor. And lunge that foot forward between your hands. Lower your back heel down. Lift your arm up and over. We've got a warrior 2. So make sure your knee and your ankle are lined up. The back foot should be pointing diagonally, the front foot pointing forwards. Lift the arms to shoulder height. Now squeeze your buttocks together. Tighten your tummy. Lift your rib cage up. So lift the spine up nice and tall and the shoulders go down. Turn your gaze over your front middle finger and take 3 breaths. Side angle pose. Breathe in, reach forward, elbow on the knee. So you should just be able to bring your elbow down to the knee, close your hand into a fist, lift your other arm up and over. Now, if your hip's a bit high, you're going to be resting quite heavily on that knee. So I want you to drop your hip down. If you can, work towards it and lift your rib cage up a little. Now, if you can, reach the other arm up. Take 3 breaths here. It is quite strong. You can leave your elbow on your knee. Okay, let's place that elbow down, lower the hand down, lift the other hand up into proud warrior. Now bring your arms back to the T position, straighten your front leg. We have a triangle, so breathe in, reach forward, push your hip back, reach forward and windmill arms into position. Open the chest, hug those shoulder blades together. Squeeze your buttocks, rotate the front thigh forwards and upwards. And let's take 3 breaths here. Direct your breath into the top side of the body. Then lifting up, bring the back arm forwards, rotate the hips. If your hips feel a little bit too wide, just rotate your hips forward, lift your arms up. Roll the shoulders back and down, stretch those fingers. Make sure the front knee lines up with the front ankle and push your back heel firmly down. 3 breaths into the front of the body. Then breathe in, reach up, breathe out, hands on hips, straighten your front leg. We've got a pyramid, so if your legs still feel a bit wide, just heel toe them forward. Make sure the hips are straight and you can squeeze your buttocks together to firm up around your hips. You need to keep nice and strong in the hips to help strengthen your back. Okay, let's lift up nice and tall. Crown of head to ceiling, lengthen through the spine. Draw the elbows back, open the chest, pull the waist in, lean forward. Just keep the buttocks squeezed, look forward. When you've gone down to the level you can with a straight back, just tuck your chin in a little. Okay, some of you might be able to go halfway with a flat back, but that will just depend on how much stretch you have in the back of that front leg. Okay, let's draw the shoulders away from ears, tummies in, take 3 breaths here. Then breathe in, look forward and lift up. We're now going to take that left hand, breathe in, lift up and breathe out. Reach forward, just come into that flat back position and then lower your hand down outside your right leg. This is a reverse triangle. Now squeeze your buttocks together, tighten your tummy and then rotate through the rib cage. If you can, reach your hand up to the ceiling. This is quite a strong position. And let's take 3 breaths.
Now lower the hand on the hip, tighten your buttocks, tighten your tummy, breathe in, lift your hand up again, and breathe out. Bring it down to your hip. Now we're going to breathe in, lift both arms up and breathe out. Bring them down to the floor, step the front foot back into down dog. Line the head up with the arms. Just move from side to side, loosen up around your shoulder blades and your hips. Let's step the feet together again and lift the left leg up, 3-leg dog. Squeeze your buttocks, point your toes to the floor. 3 breaths. Can you feel the strength around your shoulder blades and back? Shoulders need to be drawn towards hips to work that back more strongly. Now lunge your back foot forward, lower the back heel down, line the heels up, and we're going to lift those arms up and over into warrior 2. Shoulders are down, rib cage lifted, squeeze your buttocks and tuck that tail under. Check your front knees lined up with your ankle and just push a little bit sideways to your back. Turn your gaze over your front middle finger. Let's take 3 breaths right into our belly. Side angle pose. Breathe in, reach forward. Elbow to knee, palm up, close it into a fist. Look at your back hand, lift it up, bring it to a diagonal and draw the shoulder away from the ear so we can engage the back muscles. Now the hip, if it's up a little bit too high, we're going to rest on that knee too strongly. So see if you can just drop it down even a little bit. Let's see how we go, lifting that elbow up, shooting the arm up so if arms are parallel. Take 3 breaths here. Beautiful. Then lift back up, proud warrior. Shoulders are down, away from ears. Breathe into the belly. Line that head up with the spine, don't drop it out to the side. And then straighten your arms, straighten your front leg. We have a triangle, so let's breathe in, reach forward and push the hips back. Reach, and then windmill your arms into position so the arm is just in front of the knee. Tail under, tummy in, lengthen through the spine, chin tucks in, and shoulders draw away from ears. Front thigh rotates sideways and upwards. Can you feel the front buttocks squeezing? Let's take 3 breaths in the top side of the body as that back stretches and the side stretches. Okay, let's breathe in and lift up. Take your back arm forward, bend your front knee, warrior 1. So adjust your back foot if you need to. Buttocks should squeeze together, arms lifted, roll the shoulders back and down so we can engage the back muscles and strengthen them. Okay, beautiful. Let's take 3 breaths into the belly. Expand your rib cage out with each of those breaths. Now breathe in and breathe out. Bring hands to hips, straighten your front leg. If your back leg feels too far away, heel toe it slightly forward. So you should be able to squeeze your buttocks together and have both hips facing forward. Hands on hips, draw your elbows back, hug the shoulder blades together and draw the shoulders downwards. Breathe in to prepare, lifting your chin, breathe out. Draw the waist in, look forward, squeeze the buttocks together and come down just as far as you're able to with a flat back. So you can just check by dropping your elbows if you have a mirror nearby, and that chin tucked in, lengthen through the back of the neck. Try not to lock your front knee back. Keep it a little bit soft. Take 3 breaths into your rib cage. Then look forward, squeeze your buttocks, lift up. Now this time, lift your right hand up. Breathe in and breathe out. Draw the waist in, reach the arm forward, take it outside your opposite leg. Draw the navel in, squeeze the buttocks together, rotate through the rib cage. Lift the hand up if you can. Take 3 breaths here. Now lower the hand to your hip, draw the waist in, look down at the floor and lift your hand up. And breathe out, hand down to hip. Now we're going to breathe in, lift both arms up, breathe out, bend your front knee, step your front foot back into down dog. Rise up on the balls of your feet and come down to knees. Let's take a quick stretch into child's pose. Take a deep breath into your back and breathe out. Lift back up again and let's bring the right foot forward. Now we're going to stretch our hips, so rock your hips forward. So you're getting a stretch right around in the hips. And we're going to take our hand inside that foot and toe heel the foot a bit wider. So we're going to work really strongly into that hip. This is a runner's stretch, so very good for people who run. Bend the elbows and pull the tummy in, let the head drop down. Now if you're able, you can go down to your elbows. Quite a strong stretch, so just pick something you can do without overstretching. Okay, let's breathe into our belly and lower back. 3 big breaths. Now lifting up, we're going to take our hand outside that foot again and toe heel the foot across for a pigeon. Slide that leg down. If you can have it at 90 degrees, do. Otherwise, if it slides back a bit, that's fine. Slide the other leg back. Make sure the toes of your front foot are pointing forward. Come down to elbows. Now make sure the shoulders are away from the ears. You can stack your hands, rest your head on top, or extend your arms forward with elbows lifted or elbows down. Check the shoulders are away from your ears. And let's take 3 breaths here. Right down to the belly and the hips. Now let's lift up and bend the back knee. We have a rolled pigeon. So taking the same hand as ankle, hold the top of the foot, create a bow. So press the top of the foot in the hand and that will lift your rib cage up. So your back is working quite strongly here and then you can lift your other hand up. Take 3 breaths down to your belly. Now lower the hand down, release the foot, lower it down and then walk your knee a little bit closer and take your foot back. Back into a cat position. Bring the other foot forward and we're going to stretch into the hip. So hand inside the foot, toe heel the foot a bit wider. Now bring your body, your hip forward, so you're lining up the knee with the ankle and the arm with the leg. Let's go down to elbows if you can, or just bend your elbows. Pull your tummy in, lower your head down. Now find the stretch in the hips, so bring your breath down to your belly and lower back. Take 3 big breaths into the hip. Okay, now lift yourselves up. Take your hand outside your foot and toe heel your foot across into a pigeon. Now lift up nice and tall, shoulders away from ears, come down to elbows. Perhaps stack the hands, rest the head on top, or extend your arms forward. Lift elbows or lower them down. Check your shoulders, draw them away from your ears, pull your tummy up. Let's breathe right down to the hips, the waist and the lower back. Breathe into your hip that's stretching. Now lifting up, we're going into that roll pigeon. So bend your back knee, same hand, place it on the top of the foot, hold the foot. Now press the top of the foot into the hand, create the bow. Nice back work and glute work, buttocks work. Lift your other hand up. So it should be quite balanced here. Take 3 breaths. And then lower your hand down, lower your foot down. And we're going to walk that knee forward, come back into a cat position. Now you can cross your ankles, take a seat, bring your legs forward or just bring your legs out to the side. Take the hands behind the knees, lifting up nice and tall, and breathe out. Roll down, just vertebrae by vertebrae, walking up the backs of your legs and lay down. Now, press your elbows in the floor, lift the shoulder blades up, hug the shoulder blades together, flatten the back down. The chest is open, the back engaged. Lift your knees up to your chest one at a time. Clasp your fingers, hands on knees, relax the shoulders. That's a big enough stretch. Rock from side to side on the lower back 2 or 3 times. It should be flat on the floor. If it's comfortable for you, lift your legs to the ceiling, tighten your waist. Lift your hips up, place your hands behind your back, thumbs around the waist into shoulder stand. Make sure your neck is lengthened. Now you can stay here at a shoulder stand or join me by bringing the legs, or keep the legs straight, bring them over your head and just have your hands on your lower back as you lower your hips down. Draw the waist in and just bring your legs parallel to the floor over your head if that's comfortable. Hands can go on the floor behind your back. Palms down. Otherwise, bring the arms over the head, hold your toes and lower your knees down into dead man's pose. Take a few breaths here. And then start to roll yourself out of this posture. So arms can be overhead or by your sides. Roll down, vertebrae at a time, tighten the tummy, and you can just bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and arms can stay over the head. And we're coming into ramp. So navel to spine, press the lower back down, squeeze the buttocks and peel the vertebrae off the floor. Lifting the hips up. So if you had your arms by your side, you can bring your arms over your head now with me. Shoulders away from ears, rib cage flat, squeeze your buttocks, breathe into your belly, 3 big breaths. Now breathe in and breathe out, arms to sides and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, one at a time, rounding out into that lower back. Bring the knees to the chest one at a time and let's just rock gently from side to side on the lower back. Bring your knees wide, hold the soles of the feet together. Come into a butterfly pose in the air. Breathe down to your belly. And then lower your feet to the floor in butterfly pose. You can have knees together, feet wide. Take the left hand on the heart center, right hand on the belly. Elbows resting on the floor comfortably. Take 3 breaths into the belly. You can stay in butterfly pose or extend your legs. Arms to sides, palms facing up. Give your elbows a little press in the mat, lift the shoulder blades, hug them together, flatten your back down and open your chest.
Now just move your feet from side to side, relaxing into the hips. And then flop them outwards. Just loosen up in the inner thigh. And breathe down to your belly. Let each breath in release any stress or tightness. Now you can stay here as long as you like. Just switch off the video and then stay for 5, 10, 20 or 30 minutes in relaxation. Turn the video back on and finish up with me. Otherwise, you can just stay with me now and finish off. Keep breathing down to that belly, 2 or 3 more breaths. And move your fingers and toes. Walk your feet to the end position and roll to your side. Resting your head on your arm. Then lift up into a seated position, resting hands on knees or in the lap. And then lower the hands down to sides, breathe in, lift the arms up over the head, lift your rib cage up, reach your arms up and breathe out. Bring hands down to chest. Shoulders are relaxed down, chin slightly drops. Breathe into the rib cage, front and back. Now bring that breath down to the belly, into the rib cage, shoulders and back, and breathe out. And again, into the belly, rib cage, shoulders and back, and breathe out. Take one more deep breath in at your own time. And have a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind. And a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in Yoga Stretch today. If you liked the video, press like and make a comment. Please subscribe to my channel and get regular updates. Come and join me again.